The wind clawed at the edges of Officer Liam Harper's jacket as he trudged through the dense wood behind Millstone Ridge. K9 Rex, his German shepherd, refused to release his grip, teeth locked on the fabric, growling low and unwavering. Liam's pulse thudded against his ribs, not from fear of the biting cold, but from the unease curling in his gut. Something had been buried here, and Rex smelled it. Beneath the blanket of fallen leaves, a secret long buried was waiting, and the dog's insistence was more than instinct. It was a warning. Liam's mind raced, and somewhere, deep in the shadows, betrayal waited. If you enjoy the tension of small-town mysteries like this, make sure to like and subscribe for more stories that grip you long after the screen goes dark. The first shiver wasn't from the cold. Liam Harper felt it in the pit of his stomach as he followed Rex through the thick underbrush, the dog's paw prints cutting deep into the soft earth. The forest was almost silent, except for the occasional creak of a tree branch, the whisper of wind through pine needles, and Rex's heavy breathing. The scent was what made Liam's stomach knot, a coppery, metallic tang that made him swallow hard. "Rex, easy," Liam muttered, his gloved hand brushing the dog's fur. The German shepherd didn't respond. His eyes were fixed on the ground, ears pricked, every muscle coiled. Liam's mind flicked back to the call he received just hours ago, a farmer's boy gone missing, last seen near the old logging trail that ran behind Millstone Ridge. The locals whispered of old disputes, of grudges carried like smoldering embers in the soil of this town. Liam had grown up here, but the woods always felt heavier in winter, as if secrets themselves weighed down the branches. Rex stopped abruptly, tugging on the jacket once more. Liam's boots sank into a soft mound of earth, and when he leaned forward he saw it. A shallow hole, covered with twigs and leaves, the soil beneath strangely churned. He crouched, heart hammering. His fingers brushed against something hard, a glint of metal. "Liam?" A voice cracked the silence. Deputy Carl Whitman emerged from the trees, her flashlight bobbing over the ground. Her eyes, sharp and skeptical, scanned the scene. "What V you got?" "Not sure yet," Liam said, though he already knew. Rex growled low, refusing to move, his gaze locked on the hole. Rex isn't lying. Carr stepped closer, boots crunching over frost. "You don't think it's—" "I think it's what Rex says it is," Liam said. He swallowed hard, fingers brushing a small leather strap buried in the dirt. The wind shifted, carrying the faint smell of decay, and the hairs on Liam's neck stood on end. Kara flinched. "You sure about this?" she asked. He met her gaze. She was younger than him by a few years, bright, competent, but always too eager to prove herself in a place where the past never let go. As sure as we'll ever be. Together, they started clearing the leaves. The metal glint became clearer. Handcuffs, bent, rusted, almost buried entirely beneath the mud. And then the edge of a boot, cracked leather, sticking out from the earth. Liam's breath hitched. "God, no," Carl whispered. Rex barked sharply, a single sound that cut to the forest, warning and commanding all at once. Liam felt a wave of nausea, the taste of iron in his mouth. The body had been here long enough to leach into the soil, but fresh enough to still be recognizable. A missing boy, or something else entirely. The small-town rumors had always hinted at the ridge being more than just a forested trail. It had history, dark and stubborn, and now Liam wondered if those whispers had been warnings. He knelt, brushing dirt away from the face. It wasn't the boy. It was an adult, male, familiar, but his mind couldn't place him immediately. And yet, something in the shape of his jaw, the angle of his brow, it felt personal, like a memory he had tried too hard to forget. Kara's voice trembled. "Did you recognize him?" Liam shook his head, though his chest felt tight, like someone had slammed it with a fist. "No, but I'll know soon enough." The silence fell between them, broken only by the whisper of the wind through the trees. And then a snap, like a branch breaking somewhere deeper in the woods. Rex stiffened, growl rolling from his throat. Liam's hand went to the sidearm he rarely had to use anymore. "Who's there?" Liam called, his voice low but steady. No answer, just the echo of the wind. Kara's flashlight swung left and right, catching nothing but shadows that seemed too long, too deliberate. Then From behind a fallen oak, a figure emerged. Not running, not hiding, just stepping out, calm, watching. A man in his 40s, face lined with sun and suspicion, eyes sharp. He held nothing, but his presence alone radiated authority, resentment, and fear all tangled together. "Sheriff Nolan," Liam said cautiously. "What the hell are you doing out here?" The man's lips pressed into a thin line. "I could ask you the same, Harper, but it seems you found something you weren't supposed to." Kara took a step forward. "We were called to check on a missing boy. What's your problem?" Nolan's gaze flicked to the body. He didn't flinch. "That's not what you should be worried about," he said, voice low. "You're about to step into a mess that doesn't end cleanly, and you know it." Liam's gut twisted. He had always known the sheriff had secrets. Everyone in Millstone Ridge did. But seeing him here at the scene with no official call, with a look that betrayed both fear and control, it was too much. "Then tell us," Liam said, "before anyone else gets hurt." Sheriff Nolan shook his head. "Some things don't get told, Harper. Some things are buried for a reason." Rex growled louder, tugging again on the jacket, pulling Liam closer. Liam felt the weight of his partner's insistence. A message clear as day. The dog knew more than the men in front of him. "Rex knows," Liam muttered, "and Rex doesn't lie." Nolan's face hardened. "You'll see soon enough. But the question is, are you ready for it?" The wind rose, carried with the scent of wet earth, old blood, and something metallic, something that had lingered far too long. Liam looked down at the body, at the handcuffs, at the shallow grave barely concealed by leaves. And in that moment, he realized the danger wasn't just out there, in the dark woods. It was here, in the people you trusted, in the shadows of your own hometown. He met Kara's eyes. She nodded, a silent agreement. They'd follow Rex wherever he led, even if it meant digging into the past, uncovering secrets meant to stay buried, and facing betrayals that could shatter everything they knew about Millstone Ridge and themselves. The forest swallowed the sound of their movement, but Rex's growl never wavered. And somewhere, deep in the shadows, the first piece of the town's dark puzzle was stirring, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The fog had settled thick over Millstone Ridge by morning, curling around the gnarled trees like ghostly fingers. Liam Harper's boots sank into the damp ground as he retraced his steps from the previous night. Rex at his side, refusing to leave the jacket he clutched with unwavering intensity. Every snapping twig and rustle in the underbrush set Liam on edge. But it wasn't fear, it was anticipation. Rex had found something, and the dog's obsession made it clear. This was far from a simple missing person case. Kara Whitman followed, flashlight cutting through the mist. She glanced at Liam, her eyes reflecting unease, and asked, "Do you ever wonder why the sheriff was here before us?" Liam didn't answer immediately. The question hung heavy between them. Nolan had a way of walking the thin line between protector and predator, and Liam had learned long ago that secrets in Millstone Ridge were currency. "I'm starting to," he said finally. "But whatever it is, it's buried, literally, and Rex is telling us we can't ignore it." The body from last night had been taken by the coroner under strict orders from Nolan, but Liam and Kara had collected what evidence they could. The bent handcuffs, a leather strap with initials engraved, jam, and the unmistakable scent that Rex had marked with feral intensity. Back at the station, the town's rhythm felt suspended. The fluorescent lights hummed over desks cluttered with cold case files, paperwork, and a faint smell of stale coffee. Liam stared at the evidence laid out before him. Kara leaned over, her brow furrowed. "JM," she whispered. "Does that ring a bell?" Liam's jaw tightened. Joseph Mason. He disappeared 5 years ago. Never found. Case went cold because no one wanted to dig too deep. And now, he trailed off, shaking his head. Now it looks like someone didn't just disappear. They were hidden, buried. Kara's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, frowning. Text from an unknown number. Says, "Stop digging, or Rex isn't the only one who'll find the truth." A shiver ran down Liam's spine. He looked at Rex, who growled low, ears flat, tail stiff. The dog's instincts weren't wrong. This was bigger than they'd imagined. Later that day, Liam visited Mason's family home, a weathered farmhouse on the edge of the ridge. Mrs. Mason answered the door, her face lined with grief and fatigue. Liam could see the toll years of uncertainty had taken. "I never thought he'd just be gone," she murmured, her voice trembling. "Not like this." Liam nodded, keeping his tone calm. "Ma'am, we're doing everything we can. Rex helped us find something last night, something that might explain what happened." Her eyes widened, hope and fear mingling. "The boy or my Joseph?" "Joseph," Liam said gently. "But there's more. Someone in town, someone with power, is keeping secrets." Mrs. Mason's hands trembled. "Oh, God, who?" Liam hesitated. "I can't say yet, but we're close. I promise." Outside, Rex growled again, pulling at the jacket. Liam noticed dirt on the dog's paws, fresh soil not from the station. The dog's persistence was more than instinct. It was almost directed. The tension in town escalated that evening. Lights flickered along the ridge, and whispers traveled faster than the wind. In the bar by the main street, Nolan sat at a corner table, nursing a bourbon. His eyes tracked Liam through the haze of cigarette smoke. A man with a reputation for moral ambiguity, Nolan had always been trusted, until now. He leaned back, phone in hand, a text blinking. "They're getting too close. Make the call." Meanwhile, Liam returned to the site where Rex had found the body. Alone this time, with the fog thickening into an almost tangible wall, he noticed something that had been buried under the leaves, a small tin box, partially rusted, hidden at the edge of the hole. Inside were photographs, torn and yellowed, of children from the town, some smiling, some crying, names scratched in the margins. Liam's stomach churned. Kara arrived quietly, her flashlight catching the metal glint. "What did you find?" He held it up. "Proof. Someone's been keeping a record. And not just of Joseph Mason." Her breath caught. "How many more?" Before he could answer, Rex barked, a sharp, urgent sound that echoed through the trees. Liam and Kara spun, catching a figure slipping behind a thick cluster of pines. They gave chase, but the figure vanished like smoke. Only a footprint remained, pressed deep into the mud. A man's boot, tall and heavy. Later in the lab, Liam pored over the tin's contents. Some photographs were recent, some decades old. A pattern emerged. Each child had ties to prominent families in the town, and almost all had unresolved disappearances or suspicious accidents. It wasn't random. It was orchestrated. Carl looked over his shoulder, voice barely above a whisper. "You're saying this isn't just Joseph Mason?" Liam shook his head. "No. Someone's been running a network. Cover-ups. Burials. And the sheriff, he's either protecting it or he's part of it." A knock on the door startled them. Nolan stepped inside, eyes calculating. "Find anything interesting?" His tone was casual, but the undercurrent of threat was unmistakable. Liam's fists clenched. "Enough to know you're not telling the truth, Sheriff." Nolan smiled thinly. "Truth is relative, Harper. Some things are meant to stay buried." Rex growled low. The dogs were bristling. Liam looked down at him, a silent acknowledgement passing between man and beast. The dog had sensed betrayal long before they did, and now it was time to act. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. Images of the tin box, the photographs, and the boy's body replayed in his mind. Outside, the wind howled through the ridge, carrying the echoes of secrets too long hidden. He realized that the battle wasn't just with whoever had committed these acts. It was with the town itself, with its blind trust, and with the people who had sworn loyalty at the cost of morality. Rex nudged the jacket, eyes imploring. Liam understood. Whatever came next, they wouldn't back down. Not until every secret was unearthed, every betrayal confronted, and somewhere deep inside, he knew the worst was yet to come. Because in Millstone Ridge, the shadows had teeth, and Rex was ready to sink them in. The fog lingered over Millstone Ridge like a living thing, thick and suffocating. Liam Harper felt it in his lungs, each breath heavy with damp earth and decay. Rex's growl was constant, low and unwavering, tethering Liam to the present. The dog's gaze was fixed on the trees ahead, where shadows shifted unnaturally. Somewhere among those gnarled trunks, the final piece of the puzzle waited. Liam's hands tightened around the jacket, Rex refused to release. It was more than fabric now. It was a lifeline, a guide to the darkness of secrets no one dared speak aloud. Carl Whitman followed closely, flashlight cutting through the gray. They moved in silence, both aware that every step might reveal truths that could shatter their lives. Think Nolan's involved? Carl whispered. Liam didn't answer immediately. His mind replayed every encounter with the sheriff. The guarded smiles, the subtle threats, the casual manipulations. I don't know, not completely, but he's hiding something. And whatever it is, it's why Joseph Mason and the others were buried. The forest opened into a clearing. The air was thick with rot, the scent of soil upturned, and something more metallic. There, half buried beneath moss and leaves, was a structure, an old, forgotten cellar, its hatch warped with age. Rex barked, teeth bared, his stance unyielding. Liam's pulse quickened. "This has to be it," he muttered. "This is where they hid them." Carr's flashlight revealed symbols etched into the wood. A crude tally of marks, numbers scratched into the rotting beams. Each mark represented a life, a child lost to the town's darkness. Her stomach twisted. This is insane. Liam shook his head, feeling anger and despair collide. Insane? It's murder. Organized. Hidden for years. They pried the hatch open, and the scent of damp earth and decay hit them like a wave. Rex growled and pushed forward, leading the way down the narrow staircase. At the bottom, the cellar opened into a dim space, and Liam's flashlight caught the glint of metal, handcuffs, chains, remnants of small shoes. Then they saw the bodies. Not all, but enough. Faces pale, eyes closed forever. Evidence of a history of brutality no one had dared confront. Liam swallowed hard, nausea churning. Kara grabbed his arm, her hand shaking. Rex nudged the jacket again, as if to say, "There's more." A sound behind them. Footsteps heavy, deliberate. They spun to see Nolan standing at the top of the stairs, shadowed but unmistakable. His face was unreadable, a mask that barely concealed fear and defiance. "You shouldn't be here," Nolan said quietly. "I warned you. You buried them." Liam shouted. "All of them. How could you?" Nolan's voice cracked, almost human now. "I didn't bury them alone. You think a town like Millstone Ridge can't hide its sins? Everyone who mattered knew. I tried to protect them, to control it. But some things spiral beyond control." Kara's voice was icy. "You killed children, Nolan. You hid them and you lied for years." He stepped down, closer now, hands raised in a gesture of surrender. But the threat lingered. "No, I didn't kill them. I protected the wrong people. And yes, I lied. But the truth? It's worse than you think." Liam's head spun. Worse. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Tall, lean, familiar. Joseph Mason, or someone who looked like him, grown, hardened, eyes sharp with vengeance. "Worse," the man said, voice calm but deadly, "is realizing that those who claim to protect you were complicit all along." Rex barked furiously, growled deep, protective. Liam realized the boy he thought dead had survived, hidden by circumstance, trained by pain, aware of every secret. And now he had returned. Joseph stepped forward, gaze piercing Nolan. "You thought the ridge could bury its sins forever. You were wrong." Nolan faltered, fear finally breaking to the mask of authority. You're alive." "Yes," Joseph said. "And now everyone will see what's been hidden." The confrontation was tense, charged. Nolan trembled under scrutiny, Carr's disbelief mingling with relief, and Liam felt the weight of years of betrayal crashing down. Rex nudged Liam again, the jacket now a symbol of survival, loyalty, and the unearthing of truth. As Joseph revealed names, locations, and truths long suppressed, the town's illusion of safety shattered. Families, officials, and townspeople had participated, wittingly or unwittingly, in the cover-ups. The betrayal was deep, systemic. But amidst the horror, there was resolution. The hidden cellar was reported, the victims honored, and the truth recorded in a way the Ridge could never ignore. Liam watched Joseph walk into the fog, a figure transformed by pain and resolve. Carr stood beside him, gripping his arm. "We did the right thing," she said softly. Yeah, Liam whispered, his voice thick. But at what cost? Rex nuzzled the jacket, eyes steady, as if assuring Liam that even in the darkest shadows, loyalty and truth endure. The wind through Millstone Ridge no longer felt oppressive. It carried with it the echoes of justice, finally spoken aloud. And in the quiet that followed, Liam understood. Some wounds never heal fully, but uncovering the truth, even when painful, was the only way to honor those lost, and the only way to reclaim what little peace remained. The ridge remained shrouded in fog, but Liam, Kara, and Rex walked out into the muted light of dawn, carrying the weight of darkness, yet stepping toward fragile, hard-won clarity.